Shanti and most venerable dear members of the Sangha and my dear friends in the Dhamma. Very good day to you everybody. Today, as he said, Venerable Chief, I would like to share with you something which is very important in the Buddhist teachings, that which we call as the suffering. Of course, since everybody may have heard of this word suffering, I think by the time you may have you heard it, you may have got the idea that is he also going to repeat the same thing that we hear every day when we are going somewhere to attend public talks or Dhamma sermons, in Buddhist meditation centers, Buddhist temples. Is that the same thing that he is going to repeat today? Of course, I would like to tell you everybody that I'm not going to harp the same tune here, but I would like to take it in a different perspective, since many people are trying to give wrong interpretation to this word suffering, if not this phenomenon suffering. But before that, I would like to mention something about this word suffering and how it has been translated into English. Of course, today the scholars and those who study Buddhism, sometimes they say that this word is not enough to give the real meaning for the word that we come across in Buddhist traditions, specifically in Theravada tradition and Mahayana tradition too. So when we look at the great literature of the Buddhist teachings, of course we can find 8 types of suffering. Okay, so, but before I start explaining those 8 types of suffering, I mean presenting those 8 types of suffering in front of you, I would like to comment something about how I'm going to give this talk. At the very beginning, I would like to take those 8 types of sufferings. Actually, what are those 8 types of suffering? And as I pointed out earlier in my talk, in my introduction to this talk, I said that today I am going to deal with this title in a different perspective. That may sometimes you may have not heard, but maybe sometimes you may have heard. So then after that, what is the correct way? If not, what is the most appropriate way to deal with this suffering? Of course, every day we are talking about this suffering, and we are learning. Whatever the way we look at this suffering, what matters most is the way how we are going to cope with, to deal with this phenomenon in this world. Because everybody are not devoid of, if not, we cannot live without facing suffering. Every minute we are experiencing suffering. Yeah, that's okay. Then let me put it my topic in this way. use it or lose it. If we refer to the word eat, suffering, use suffering or lose suffering. If not, let it go. Use dukkha or lose dukkha. Use dukkha or lose dukkha. So this is the way that I would like to take my topic in related to the suffering that we basically should understand in Buddhist teachings. Suffering is, to put it in a better definition, suffering is nothing but the unsatisfactoriness, not gaining the things as we wish in this world. So that's the way we can define that word suffering, if not that phenomenon that we every day experience in this world. Then there are 8 types of sufferings that you can find if you study the Buddhist texts. Some of the Buddhist sutras, if not discourses, in other words, the public talks, Dhamma discussions given by the Buddha. Those 8 types of sufferings, if placed in an order, first one is the birth, decay, if not old age, sickness, death, getting what you do not want, not being able to hold on to what is desirable, not getting what you do want, and finally the suffering in between the period of birth and the death. Let me put it again, explain it in this way. First, I told you that according to these 8 types of sufferings, the first one is called the birth. What is actually, how can it be a suffering? Why do we look at it as something suffering? Today we are enjoying and we are like this because we are born to this world. If not, our birth did not take place, how can we experience this world? How can we at least even look at or understand that there is suffering in our life? If not, if our birth did not take place. So this is how we must look at it. You just imagine, today we are going through lots of suffering and unpleasant situations and experiences, and though we expect the life to be so, but every time it's not so. Always it is always changing and not gaining as we desire. Anyway, birth here means sometimes people take it in a wrong way. Sometimes they believe that by the time when we are born to this world, if not right at the time when we are coming out of the mother's womb, they think that it is called birth according to Buddhism. Then what has happened to the other part of our, before we came out of the mother's womb? Then again we lived some time in the mother's womb. Cognitively or if not psychologically talking, actually about the consciousness, I can say surely here the birth, we put it as something suffering because right at the moment when we are conceived in the mother's womb, that is called suffering. That is called, because that is birth actually. the moment, from the very beginning, we are experiencing lots of sufferings in this world. If not our birth did not take place, if our conception did not take place in the mother's womb, then today we are not like this. No need to have many aspirations in our life, hopes, desires. So according to Buddhism, I can explain birth something as suffering because right at the time we are conceived in the mother's womb, and then after that the demands and the challenges we have to face after leaving the mother's womb can be referred, if not can be explained as birth. You just imagine the demands, the challenges, and the bad, sometimes unpleasant experiences that we had to undergo, face when we were in the mother's womb. Then the second one is, since I have to save the time, I would like to go to the second one, in which I explained the first part of the 8 parts of 8 types of suffering. The first one, birth as something suffering, and sometimes you may have got lots of questions at what time actually our consciousness insert, if not comes into the mother's womb, whether it is in the germinal stage or embryonic stage. I do believe that in between germinal stage, or if not the embryonic stage, consciousness comes into existence, being. Then if I go to the second part of the 8 type of sufferings, old age, if not the decay. Decay means the suffering that is related to the physical or the psychological, what do we call as imbalance in our body. Then the third one that I shared with you as it goes, sickness. Sickness, again, it can be placed as both psychological and physical disorders. So no need of explaining it in detail. Let me go to the fourth one. Fourth one is called the death. Death again is also suffering. Birth is suffering. Then old age, if not decaying is also suffering. If it is not suffering, then we should be pleased with it. And why do we have to always concern about when we have to face next stage in our life, day by day or in every minute we are decaying. So what do we try to do is we always try to escape from the great the truth. Nobody likes to become, if not to decay, to face that unpleasant truth in our lives, which in Buddhism refers to as something we are dragging. We are being dragged in close proximity with the death. Day by day, moment by moment, we are dragging to the death. Buddhism says so. Of course, I don't like to share that Pali word with you. So Buddhism says that the world here means the person, the being. It's not something what do we call as eternal. So we are being dragged by this old age to the death, moment by moment. Then the sickness. Sickness again, you just imagine in a city like Los Angeles, where you find hustle bustle of the city, and lots of things has to be done. For that basically we have to survive. We have to survive in this society. So we have to do something. For that you work from morning to till midnight. Sometimes you start to go to work at towards evening, and then you have to work until morning. Why we are doing all these? To survive. Then let me explain the fourth one, death. Death again is psychological and physical, how I can say that, inability to continue our life. Actually that we can call as death. Those are not those are the fourth types of sufferings among the 8 types of sufferings that I would like to talk today. Then the fifth one, if I am not mistaken, yes, the fifth one is getting what you do not want. That is also suffering. You just imagine in your life, nobody can deny that truth. We always are in the midst of receiving, gaining, what we do not like. But it has to, we have to. Sometimes there is no choice in our life. We have to face. We have to accept that. Though we do not like it, though we do not desire to face that truth, we have to. You just imagine, just look at yourself, and this is the best time for something called introspection. Just imagine the bad and the unpleasant experiences that you have to live with. Then Buddha says that if there is something called getting what you do not want, that is also suffering. That's the fifth one. Then the sixth one is not being able to hold on to what is desirable. Again, it is suffering. If we do not gain what we like, that is also suffering. Then if we are not in a position to gain, if not hold on to things what is desirable, again that is suffering. Specifically those we do not like to associate, and events, situations to cope with, everything is suffering according to Buddhism. Then the seventh one is called not getting what you do want. Again, that is suffering. Suppose you like something, and at the same time you prefer something to achieve in your life, but you are unable to do that. You always miss that part due to some reason. Maybe there are reasons, but you do not gain it in your life. Maybe you are fame, you want to be a famous person in this society, and you want to come to a great position in this society, in this world. Lots of things in your mind are going on, but you are unable to achieve it in your life. Buddha says that not gaining what you do want is also suffering. Then the last one that I would like to share with you, Buddha says that in short, we started explaining the first part of the 8 types of suffering, from birth to not gaining what we do want. Then the last one, in the last one, Buddha categorized all these sufferings. He can go on, explaining those things until his death. But he said, he used a very nice, how we can say that, example, if not an interpretation, to tell that what is actually suffering is suffering in between the death and birth and the death, which formulates, which we recognize as the 5 aggregates of form, sensation, perception, mental formations, if not what we understand it as conditioned functions, and the consciousness, which formulates the, in other words, the functions of existence of our body. That's the last part of eight types of suffering that we can find in the great texts, discourses, and public talks given by the Buddha. Actually, today I'm not here to explain or give. I just took it in for your concern, for your notice, to know what are those eight types of sufferings mentioned in the text of in the great discourses of the Buddha. But I would like to talk something about the fourth, fifth, and the sixth one. Just forget about the other part. You know that birth is naturally, that is something unpleasant. Though we do not know if somebody explain it, and at the same time becoming old age, if not decaying, is something unpleasant. That's why we do apply lots of things when we are aging, from time to time. Just after our young age, we are of course in close proximity with the old age, for which we always try our best to avoid it. Anyway, when you look at these eight types of suffering, the fourth, fifth, and the sixth one, those are the sufferings that we are everyday dealing with in this society, in our life. First one I told that getting what you do not want. Imagine, sometimes today you are like this, but imagine the way you have aspired, if not you have expected things to happen in your life. Then the sixth one I told that inability to in other words, not being able to hold on to what is desirable. We like to have to associate this person, and we like to live with this person and amid those things and like that. But somehow the other, it does not allow us to be, if not to be with us, to go on as the way we wish in our life. So finally, not gaining what do we want, actually what do we want, because sometimes though we like to have a specific way of life, there is no choice. We have to live with that unpleasant, most how I can say that something suffering in our life. So psychologically, if not, if we talk rationally, as I told you earlier in my before I started my Dhamma talk, sharing my Dhamma knowledge with you, in my introduction to this Dhamma talk, I said that use it or lose it. Suffering is suffering, that is true. We have to live with that. But at the same time, do we have to live with suffering until the end of our life? Every day we are calling that life is suffering, everything is suffering, suffering, suffering. But do we have to live with that? Isn't there any exception, or how we can lead a better way of life in this life? Then according to Buddhism, this is how I can say. Suffering that we find in the teachings of the Buddha under the specific term dukkha. You may have heard the word dukkha. Dukkha means suffering. Though everything is suffering, of course we should have the ability to transform that phenomenon into something better. If I am not mistaken, in one of the Buddhist texts recently I read, I found that a better definition for this suffering. Suffering is stress. Suffering, in other words, is something stress. Everybody are stressed in this life. Throughout this life, till the last moment of our life, we are stressed. But what matters most is the way how we are going to use it for something better. If not, you can lose it. Once you lose it, means you are leading a very unpleasant life. You are living a very unpleasant life amidst lots of sufferings and untold, bad experiences. But once, if we are in a position to use it, transform it, of course, we can have a very nice and happy life. Even the Buddha also had to face this suffering, but his life, he never ever said that we always have to live. If not, we must live with suffering. No need of we must live with suffering. Then we have to cope with this. And ultimately, since I have to finish this talk at 11, now it's almost 11:45. Of course, I would like to talk more and more things about this suffering. Anyway, suffering, as I told you, as I put it in other words in my previous explanation, suffering is nothing but stress. Stress is sometimes we need it. We have to use stress. You just imagine, sometimes you have to go for some performances in your life. For better performances, sometimes you need some good stress, which in psychological terms we can find it as uterus. Uterus means nothing but good stress. We do need some sort of good stress in our life to perform better, to have some better results. And at the same time, no need of thinking, and if not going on thinking that I did not have the chance to gain in this receive, if not achieve this in my life, and at the same time I have to live with unpleasant people and undesirable things in my life. No need of repenting or regretting every day. What you have to do is try to learn something. Try to look at the same thing in a different perspective, because people have done lots of found lots of innovations in this world by looking at the same something unpleasant, something people do not pay attention earlier. So with that, I would like to conclude my Dhamma talk. But before that, I have to tell you that there are many ways and techniques according to Buddhism that we can come out, if not get rid of this bad part of our lives, what we call as suffering. You can meditate. Of course, you can listen to public talks. At the same time, you can have a good education. You can earn money. But by the way, you have to understand that earning or hoarding just only money is not the only purpose in our life. We have to practice something in our life before our death. We have to understand why we are in this world, who I am, what is my purpose coming to this world, what's the destination I am going. Like that, we have to find many things in this life. So if we are to achieve those targets, if not those aims in our life, I think that life is not something, would not definitely become something suffering. Though rationally and psychologically, when we look at some problems, that is natural. Though it is suffering, that is natural. At the same time, rationally, if we look at those some aspects of our lives, of course, life is suffering. But suffering, if we are in a position to use it, of course, we can lead better lives. So my advice is, by giving this Dhamma talk, by sharing my Dhamma knowledge with you, of course, to use it and don't let it go. Use it. Don't lose it. Once you use it, definitely, one day you will be able to put an end to this suffering with better understanding. So with that, I would like to conclude my Dhamma sharing. And all this while, by giving this Dhamma talk, and at the same time, from your part, by taking an effort to come and listen to this Dhamma talk, all the merits that we accumulated, we would like to dedicate all these merits to the dear departed and our moms, dads and grandmoms and granddads, and at the same time the devas, if not the mighty powers whose blessings hang over in our lives to protect us, to bless us all, and at the same time to have a final end, if not to achieve the final aim of in Buddhist teachings, which we call as Nibbana. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you. Yes, since we have a lot of suffering on Buddhism, do Buddha teach any teaching on the Buddha about happiness?
So, you want to know what is actually
all the suffering? We heard a lot of suffering, but did Buddha teach any happiness?
Of course, we have. Happiness is, it depends how we look at something. First, you have to change your attitude, the way how you look at something. You just go through psychology, and the most researchers done by the greatest psychologists in the world, they say that events are secondary. Nothing can impact us. Nothing can make us unhappy, unless if we look at something in a different perspective. External objects, those things are secondary in our thought process. What we think actually impact our lives. How we think something or how we perceive something impact our lives. I wonder if that's also suffering.